more on the situation in the occupied territories, let's cross now over to New York and speak with Akshaya Kumar, who is the Director of Crisis Advocacy over at Human Rights Watch. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. Often as the case is in conflicts like this, it is women and children that are most affected. Out of the more than 5,000 Palestinians that have been killed so far, and that's the updated numbers by Hamas officials from just a couple of hours ago, is that we have more than 2,000 women killed, more than 1,000 children killed, all innocent bystanders.
Absolutely. We at Human Rights Watch are deeply concerned about the indiscriminate nature of the aerial bombardment campaign which is taking place. And the results are clear in the destruction of homes, the impacts that we've seen on schools, including UN schools, which were sheltering thousands of internally displaced people, and on places of worship, including churches and mosques, as well as you mentioned, the indiscriminate impact and disproportionate impact on women and children among those who have been killed.
You recently co-authored a report sort of pointing out to the mass atrocities in Israel and in Gaza, and it's important to sort of point that out. I'm wondering how confident you are in terms of getting the international community to do something substantial and maybe not stop, but at least reduce.
Well, we are watching closely what will happen at the United Nations this week. There will be meetings likely at the UN Security Council on Tuesday, perhaps a vote on the situation once again. We saw one vote on a resolution vetoed by the US government, and also action at the General Assembly. And I think, as you said, we've written about our concern, our deep worry that there's a risk of further mass atrocities taking place. We've already seen too many instances where the laws of war have been disregarded willfully or recklessly, war crimes. And so we are watching carefully to see if the world mobilizes to speak up and send a strong message to try to avert further mutual mass atrocities. And you rightly mentioned that the incidents of October 7th, the attacks by Hamas-led Palestinian armed groups involved war crimes. But we've also seen collective punishment now of the 2.2 million people of Gaza, the order to evacuate their homes, the use of white phosphorus, the impact on health facilities because of a lack of access to fuel, electricity, water, food, all the necessities of life. And these are all the elements that make us worried about further atrocities.
That collective punishment, like you said, includes the starvation when it comes to electricity, fuel, water. I'm wondering how concerned you might be, or you are, in the event when this ground offensive starts.
We are watching very closely, as people are around the world, about the conduct of hostilities here. It's absolutely essential to urge leaders who do have influence over the warring parties, and in this case, the Israeli Defense Forces, to ask them to change course, to move away from this notion that everyone in Gaza, especially those who are left in the northern part of the territory, is somehow a open target for them. We've seen too many comments from Israeli officials that seem to suggest that anyone in Gaza is, whether they are a civilian or allied with an armed group, equally a target. There needs to be distinction. There needs to be proportionality. These are the rules and the laws of war. And we're not seeing enough leaders pressuring on that particular issue. And so the conduct of the ground offensive is deeply worrying, particularly if there's a sense that anyone who's left in the north is somehow an open target. We know who is left behind in conflict. It's often older people. It's often people with disabilities. It could be hospital workers who are taking care of patients who can't move, who are sick or infirm. And these are not targets. They're not legitimate targets in the conduct of hostilities.
Okay. Akshaya Kumar, thank you very much for joining us here on the NewsHour. I do appreciate talking to you.